There are two types of people in this watch world. People that are confused by these terms and liars. Today we're unpacking 5 watch terms that always confuse people, that confuse me to begin with. But nobody ever wants to admit it. I've been there, you've been there, let's just get honest. Now before I get into it, let me introduce myself. I'm Jag from Jag's Watches. I post 3 times a week, and so if you're interested in watch related content, please do consider subscribing. And subscribers, welcome back, I appreciate you. So we're starting off with chronograph versus chronometer. This is a big one. It sounds like the same, but obviously not the same. A chronograph is a function, basically a stopwatch. You press the pusher and the second hand starts ticking like it's training for the Olympics. Press it again and it stops. Sometimes these types of watches have 2 different pushers, sometimes they just have 1, just depends on the movement, but it's essentially just a stopwatch. This leads me on to a chronometer, which isn't a function, it's more of a certification. It means the movement inside of the watch has been tested and certified to meet a very strict accuracy standard, usually by COSC in Switzerland. Metas you've probably heard of before. There are no doubt other types of accuracy standards or sort of certifications out there, but COSC and Metas are the 2 that are generally used by the bigger brands like Omega, Rolex and the sort. So a chronograph does stuff, a chronometer proves stuff. You can have one without the other, or both if you're lucky and maybe wealthy. Moving on to perpetual movement versus perpetual calendar. And I have to admit, this one did get me a little confused. A perpetual movement is just a fancy speak for a self-winding or an automatic movement. It winds itself as you move your wrist, and Rolex loves using this term. But however, on the other hand, a perpetual calendar, that's a mechanical genius that knows the number of days in each month and even counts for leap years. You don't need to adjust it until the year 2100. Unbelievable. Unless you forget to wind it, of course, which, let's be honest, majority of people probably end up doing. In which case, good luck setting it again. Honestly, perpetual calendars are usually those watches that cost a huge amount of money. You tend to associate perpetual calendars with some of the great watch brands like Patek, AP, IWC, but a little bit out of my price bracket. But if any of you do own any perpetual calendars, let me know in the comments down below. I'd love to know what watches you are lucky to have. But perpetual movement did get me, I have to be honest, when I first heard of that term. This brings me on to water resistance versus waterproof. Water resistance means it can take some water to a certain depth, maybe 30 meters, maybe 300 meters. A lot of the divers out there have 300 meters water resistance, but always take it with a grain of salt. Ironically, not too much salt water in this case. Waterproof is a term that manufacturers aren't actually legally use anymore because nothing is truly waterproof. Over time, gaskets age, seals wear out, and the next thing you know, your submariner is a sub-sinker. I'm sorry, I apologize for that one. I apologize for that one. So, water resistance usually has a measurement, 30 meters, 100 meters, 200 meters attached to it because it's been tested at those depths and it's proven its worth at those depths, whereas waterproof isn't really used anymore. Moving on to open heart versus tourbillon, something that I did get a little bit confused with to begin with. Sometimes they can both have spinning things on the dial, but an open heart and a tourbillon are very different beasts entirely. An open heart simply means the dial has been cut out that lets you see part of the balance wheel moving or just part of the movement entirely. It's there for style, it's there for aesthetics. No real performance benefit from this. It says, hey, look, I have moving parts. And it's, again, a look into the movement behind that dial, a movement, sort of a look into actually what is causing those hands to move around the dial. A tourbillon is actual horological wizardry, I think personally. Invented to combat gravity's effect on accuracy by rotating the entire escapement in a cage. They're incredibly hard to make and mostly found in watches that cost more than a small car. I was going to say more than a house, but you can get tourbillons that cost more than a house as well. But yeah, extremely expensive watches. Although I have seen a recent video by a fellow creator, Watches by Kim. You may watch some of his videos, I certainly do. I think he got a tourbillon from China for a couple of £100. I might be wrong, but it's a functional tourbillon. How good it is, I'm not sure. There you go. You can get a tourbillon now for about £300-400. Quality, of course, is probably not the best, but at least you're not having to spend the same amount you would do on a mortgage. Now, this leads me on to Swiss made doesn't actually mean fully Swiss made. And this is something that has been talked about a lot over the last couple of months. We've learned that a lot of these big brands, such as Omega and potentially Rolex, a part of their manufacturing process takes place in China, apparently. I don't know too much about it, but the words Swiss made do carry a lot of weight. But here's the thing. To put Swiss made on a dial, the movement must be Swiss, assembled in Switzerland, and the final inspection must also happen there. But this is where there's a caveat. Up to 60% of the components can come from elsewhere, which is what recently has been talked about quite a lot, that a lot of these components are being created and manufactured in places like China because it's cheaper. When we talk about supply chains, we talk about the fact that it may come from China, but technically, as I mentioned, they can still put Swiss made on the dial. I don't know how I feel about it. I think because it's become common knowledge now, I don't think once upon a time, go back 20 years, I don't think it was talked about as openly as it is now. I think it is a little deceitful. However, does it mean it's of a worse quality? Not really. I think watches are still made to the same quality they have always been made. I know that is also something that people disagree on generally. Your watch may say Swiss made on your dial, but the bracelet, that might have come from China. The dial could be German, and the sticker on the back probably from eBay. But there you have it. 5 watch terms that get thrown around like confetti, but leave people nodding and pretending they understand. Especially, look, I'm going to put my hands up and say, especially with perpetual movement, perpetual calendar was something that over the last 5 years I probably fully understood what it was and what it meant. And look, there's no snobbery with Jags watches, and more importantly, I know my subscribers aren't very snobbish either. This is a welcoming community, and if you're starting your journey, I hope this has clarified a couple of these watch terms that are thrown around quite a lot. If you found this helpful, funny, or painfully relatable, please do consider hitting like. It really supports the video and the channel that we're trying to grow here. And tap that bell icon. Bell icon. I've seen one person in the comments take the mick out of the way I say bell, because I'm from Birmingham originally. Bell icon. Make sure you hit that. I've been Jag from Jags Watches. I appreciate every single one of you, especially if you've watched it to the end of this video. I will see you in the next one. Peace.